What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video today. I want to talk about another one of our draft picks, another offensive lineman, and this one's going to be Tanner Bortolini, somebody that if you watch the videos before, you know that I think this is a guy that in the future is going to be somebody that's starting for the Colts, going to be one of these killer guys in front of Anthony Richardson for the next decade or so. And when you look at his college career and look back at Tanner Bortolini, one of the reasons he gets drafted to the Colts is because his versatility, the versatility that he brings, just like with the other linemen that we've talked about, right? You have the linemen that the Colts drafted and the undrafted free agents. Everybody we've looked into can play multiple positions. The only position on the offensive line that Tanner Bortolini did not play in college was the left tackle position. Okay, so looking through it, 2020, he redshirted, played in 2 games with 1 start as a center. And then in 2021, he played in 10 games with 5 starts, 1 at left guard, 4 at right tackle. Then in 2022, he was an honorable mention, all Big Ten Conference, played in 11 games, started 10. He had 6 at left guard, 2 at right guard, 1 at center, and 1 as a sixth offensive lineman. Okay, then you look at his senior year, 2023, another honorable mention, all Big Ten Conference, and he started all 12 games at center. So somebody that obviously is coachable, right? Able to fill different spots in the offensive line, able to play in different positions, and specifically that interior offensive line is what the Colts are drafting him for, right? But you look at everything that he brings physically, his RAS, his relative athletic score, as ever since I think between what was it, 1987 and 2024, he is the 38th best offensive lineman, and I think that they have him labeled as a guard, so it might just count the guards as maybe how that works. But there are a lot, right? Over 1,000, and he's the 38th best, right? He's extremely athletic. He has a hand size of 10, arm length of 31 and a half, which is really the thing about Tanner Bortolini that people didn't like. If he had longer arms, he probably would have went sooner. And those shorter arms, like people talk about the short arms, and sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't, right? AQ Shipley, right? Perfect example. He had a 12-year NFL career, I believe, was on a lot of different teams, but he played a lot and he was able to make it work. You know, he wasn't terrible doing what he did, but he was able to make it work even though he had shorter arms. That was one of the knocks on him coming out of college was having shorter arms, but he had a 12-year NFL career. So there are certain guys that can make it work. Tanner Bortolini is a guy that with has athleticism and as good as he is as a technician, he'll be able to make it work. He's just over 6'4", just over 300 pounds. So a big dude there on the inside. When you look at him athletically, his speed for his position and his size is elite. Okay, runs a 4.94 40. His explosion is elite at 32 and a half inch vertical and a broad jump of over 9. And then when you look at his agility, being elite. Again, another elite here. He has a 4.28 shuttle and a 7.163 cone. Like everything about Tanner Bortolini is like top of the line at his position in terms of athleticism. And then the thing, and that's great for a lot of reasons, right? He's as a puller, he's really good. Right, he's able to move side to side really well, and he's able to get to places quicker than most. Okay, and in the Shane Steichen offense, with the way offenses work in the NFL, having somebody that can pull like that and be able to get to the spot quickly is a really good thing. So Tanner Bortolini, really good from that aspect. You know, especially when we're talking about guards. Centers don't pull a whole lot, but guards do. So if that's the position he ends up playing, then that would be a really good plus for Tanner Bortolini. But then when you start looking more and you're looking at some of his strengths, right, on NFL.com, and as I've looked through again, there really aren't highlight tapes of offensive linemen out there. So just finding what I can about them, but then looking at scouting reports and what is everybody saying, right? What is the common thing about them? And again, the arms, the shorter arms is a lot of the issue that comes into this. But also, one thing that I saw commonly was that he can't get to his spot. Like people that are blitzing through the A gap, and him not being able to shift over quick enough to be able to get that block. Why does that happen? Why is that recognition not being timed out correctly? We'll see what happens there. I know the coaches and GMs, everybody included in drafting this guy, all think that he's going to fit in really well with the offensive line, and he's the perfect kind of guy to fit in with the room that we have. So it seems like somebody that could stay around and somebody that I expect to stay around. It's just those small things that he needs to work on to really be, one of the best in the NFL, right? The nitpicky things that we kind of talk about here and that we're talking about, it's for him to be the best in the NFL. The skill sets that Tanner Bortolini has, he could be the Colts starter for years, and he might not be perfect, but he'll be, better than average. I'd say he's above average and would be an above average starter in the NFL. I just think he has that in him. Now, something that I think is good that he's not going to come into the NFL starting. I think he needs to get kind of the motor coached into him, that high motor coached into him. Like you got to be able to drive that. So it's one of the knocks on him is his inability to always drive. He kind of anchors himself, which isn't a bad thing, right? Which is what I'm talking about. He's average, but to become one of the elite at the position and to really be able to help the team in the best way, being able to drive. So, just like any other linemen that we talk about, so many offensive linemen we talk about, any guy coming out of college and going into the NFL and really becoming a man, getting stronger. He's going to continue to get stronger. The Colts started a different weight program. I believe I heard Josh Downs talking about how they have a different weight program that they're on this year, and getting integrated with that. They just have to develop not only on the field but off the field and in the weight room. So Tanner Bortolini will continue to work on getting stronger. They'll continue to coach him, right? Tony Sperano, very good offensive line coach. He's going to continue to work with these young guys and work on the things that they need to work on. So that's what gives me confidence that as we get into the future and we start to get past, the years of Ryan Kelly, Braden Smith, Big Q again, hopefully here for 15 years. We'll see what happens with Ryan Kelly. But assuming with all these draft picks, I'm assuming they're thinking about the future. And with Anthony Richardson going to need a massive contract in a couple years, they got to start thinking of something to do, which is why I think Tanner Bortolini is going to be possibly our center of the future. Maybe future right guard. We'll see what happens with Will Fries. But either way, the Colts drafting a lot of offensive line that are versatile, excuse me. And I think for Tanner Bortolini, with the size again, over 6'4", over 300 pounds, like he's a big boy, somebody that I think can be really good in the NFL with a little bit of development. And we'll see, man. Between Matt, somebody told me that the C in this name was actually pronounced as a Z. So we're going to try this. Matt Gonzalez. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm going to continue to work on that last name. But Tanner Bortolini and him, I think, are going to be the future for the Colts offensive line, along with Bernhard Raimann. We'll continue to see what happens, man. And if there's anything about these guys that I haven't mentioned, go ahead. Let me know down in the comment section. Love hearing about things that I don't know. And you let me know your thoughts about Tanner Bortolini and what he could bring to the Colts down in the comment section. Again, he has some experience as being that sixth offensive lineman and kind of that extra tight end. So we'll see what happens there. But I think brings a lot of flexibility to the Colts and a lot of things that he can do for us, and it's going to be good for us. And again, want your opinion on it down in the comment section. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified anytime any videos drop on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you joining me for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.